This is Cobra Kai Season 6, the final chapter of the series. After the events of Season 5, Terry Silver has been defeated, and his corrupt version of Cobra Kai has finally collapsed. Now all the main characters are training together in one dojo, including former rivals like Tory and Sam. Miguel and Robby have become almost like brothers since Johnny Lawrence is expecting a baby with Miguel's mother. With everyone finally getting along, the complicated karate love square even goes on a double date, which is naturally awkward considering they all used to date each other. Even longtime rivals Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso are now working side by side. The Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do dojos officially merge under the new name Miyagi Fang Karate, creating a logo that looks pretty strange. Johnny has grown enough to realize that Miyagi-Do carries decades of history, while Eagle Fang was something he came up with recently. Because of that, he agrees to let Eagle Fang go and fully commit to Miyagi-Do. He begins embracing ideas like balance and inner peace, although he still hangs on to some of his over-the-top training methods. At the same time, the students are preparing for the Sekai Taikai, the World Karate Championship. The problem is that only 6 fighters can represent the dojo, so several students must battle for the final spots. The decision comes down to a capture the flag competition. Hawk seems like an obvious choice, but tensions explode between him and Dimitri after Hawk admits he never applied to MIT as they originally planned. Their friendship quickly turns into a fierce rivalry, and Dimitri ends up claiming the flag. Kenny Payne appears to be the next strongest contender, but Devin is determined to earn her place. During the challenge, Kenny suddenly becomes sick and rushes toward the bathroom, only to embarrass himself in front of everyone. Devin secures the final position, but only because she secretly put laxatives in Kenny's drink. Choosing the captains is even more important. Miguel and Robby face each other in an incredible rematch, showcasing some of the best karate in the series. The match is extremely close, but Robby Keane comes out on top and earns the captain's role. Meanwhile, Tory Nichols and Samantha LaRusso begin their own captaincy battle. However, everyone soon learns that Tory's mother has just passed away, something she kept secret because she was determined to keep competing. Once the adults discover the truth, they stop the fight. Feeling betrayed, Tory quits Miyagi-Do and walks away. Hawk fills her spot, and the top 6 travel to Barcelona for the Sekai Taikai. Upon arriving, they encounter a dojo they never expected to see. Cobra Kai. John Kreese has returned. After escaping prison, he traveled back to Korea, the birthplace of Cobra Kai. There, an elderly karate master sends him on a mission to recover the legendary Unjong-do dagger, which is protected by a cobra. After completing the challenge, Kreese proves himself worthy of leading Cobra Kai once again. The master's granddaughter joins him as a co-sensei, and Kreese begins mentoring a talented but angry young fighter. By encouraging him to embrace his rage, Kreese helps him earn the captain position. Tory Nichols becomes the girls' captain. She isn't truly embracing evil again, but Kreese convinces her that Cobra Kai gives her the best chance of winning. The Sekai Taikai begins with multiple events. Robby attempts to reconnect with Tory, but she tells him she needs complete focus and cannot afford distractions. As a result, Robby loses focus himself, and Miyagi-Do struggles badly in the early rounds. Cobra Kai is not even the strongest dojo present. That title belongs to the Iron Dragons, led by a massive powerhouse fighter and a popular influencer. Their sensei, Wolf, immediately comes across as dangerous. Miyagi-Do continues struggling because Hawk and Dimitri are still fighting, while Robby remains distracted by Tory. The team comes dangerously close to elimination, before Miguel Diaz practically carries them forward by himself. Miguel and Johnny are forced to fly home, after concerns arise regarding Miguel's mother's pregnancy. Fortunately, everything turns out fine, allowing them to return quickly. Since everyone thought Miguel might be unavailable, Kenny Payne had already been called in as a substitute. Kenny is still angry at Anthony LaRusso, whom he believes caused his embarrassing accident. Anthony, trying to become a better person, willingly humiliates himself as a way of making things right. Once everyone reaches Barcelona, Devin finally admits that she sabotaged Kenny. Kenny replaces her on the team, and surprisingly, they manage to move past the situation. The drama intensifies during a night out. Robby begins suspecting that Tory is becoming close to her co-captain. At the same time, Tory develops a rivalry with the Iron Dragons influencer captain. Looking for revenge, the influencer flirts with a drunk Robby, and the two end up hooking up right as Tory witnesses it. Meanwhile, the adults are dealing with their own problems. Chosen clashes with Cobra Kai's female sensei, before eventually becoming romantically involved with her. Daniel starts investigating Mr. Miyagi's connection to the Sekai Taikai. While exploring Barcelona, he is kidnapped by what appears to be a gang, only to discover they are connected to Cobra Kai. Although Daniel initially blames Kreese, he learns the real mastermind is Sensei Wolf, who is secretly working with Terry Silver. Yes, Terry Silver is back. After losing Cobra Kai, he reached his lowest point. That is when he discovered Sensei Wolf. The Iron Dragons already had a place in the tournament, but lacked financial support. Silver used his wealth to fund the entire dojo, hoping they would crush all of his enemies. Meanwhile, Miyagi-Do remains divided. Tory is furious about Robby's mistake, and his attempts to justify it only make things worse. Eventually, however, the team remembers their friendship and works through the conflict. Once united again, Miyagi-Do becomes stronger than ever. Everything leads to the captain's division. Robby faces the gigantic Iron Dragon's captain, who seems almost unstoppable. Then Cobra Kai's male captain attempts a cheap attack, triggering complete chaos. The Sekai Taikai descends into an enormous karate brawl. During the confusion, Kreese pulls out the Unjangdo and tries to kill Terry Silver. Cobra Kai's male captain picks it up and attempts to stab the giant competitor, but he is knocked down and accidentally lands on the blade himself. He dies instantly, forcing the tournament to be cancelled. At first, it seems the karate journey has reached its end. Most of the students are preparing for college and the next phase of their lives. Robby and Tory, however, have no clear future plans, making karate feel like their only opportunity. The senseis decide the competition should be completed in Los Angeles. Robby faces the giant captain, but cannot overcome him despite a strong effort. Following instructions from his ruthless sensei, the giant fights dirty and brutally breaks Robby's leg. Miyagi-Do falls too far behind and is eliminated. Cobra Kai also stays away for a while after the death of its captain. Another storyline focuses on Cobra Kai's female sensei, who must defeat her cruel grandfather in order to take control of the dojo and reshape it. Kreese, deeply affected by the loss of his student, begins reconsidering his entire life. He sincerely apologizes to Johnny Lawrence for the way he treated him. Later, Kreese and Terry Silver meet for one final confrontation. Their battle ends in dramatic fashion when Kreese flicks a cigar onto spilled gasoline, causing a massive explosion that takes both men out. That leaves Tory as Cobra Kai's only remaining competitor. Without a male captain, Cobra Kai should technically be forced to withdraw. Instead, Miguel Diaz switches back to Cobra Kai, with Johnny Lawrence serving as his sensei. Somehow, the rules allow it. Tory faces the influencer captain and regains her confidence after Robby reminds her that he loves her no matter what. She wins the fight and becomes the women's world karate champion. Miguel then takes on the giant captain. Despite instructions to target Miguel's old injury, the giant refuses to fight dishonorably. Miguel battles with determination and integrity, eventually securing victory and becoming the men's world karate champion. Even after winning both captain matches, Cobra Kai finds itself tied with the Iron Dragons in overall points. The championship comes down to one final tiebreaker between the senseis. At its core, Cobra Kai has always been Johnny Lawrence's redemption story. After one last training montage with Daniel LaRusso, Johnny enters the decisive fight. Sensei Wolf initially appears far superior and pushes Johnny to the brink of defeat. Just when Johnny is ready to quit, Daniel inspires him with a Cobra Kai-style speech. Regaining his confidence, Johnny remembers the mistake that cost him victory years ago. Instead of attacking recklessly, he embraces Miyagi-Do defense. He waits for Wolf to come to him, counters perfectly, and wins the fight. It completes his redemption arc. Cobra Kai is crowned the best dojo in the world. In the end, Johnny reopens Cobra Kai for a new generation of students. But this version is different. He combines Cobra Kai's strength with Miyagi-Do's wisdom, teaching that while aggression can sometimes be useful, living entirely by strike first, strike hard, no mercy only turns people into jerks. And that is how Cobra Kai finally comes to an end.